Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a magnificent Monday so far. Today we're going to be getting straight back into it. Apologies for not making a video yesterday. Sometimes, every once in a blue moon, it's nice to take a bit of a break and just sort of take a day off to let my eyes and my brain have a bit of a rest and really remove myself from the computers, which is a lot easier said than done, but hey ho. So we're back. We're going to be diving into Cardano, and we've got a lot to get through in this video. There are so many amazing things taking place on top of the Cardano blockchain currently, and people just simply are ignoring it given the price action. And the price action, in my opinion, is really reflecting overall market sentiment than what's actually taking place with Cardano as a blockchain and its blossoming ecosystem, which is some of what we're going to get into in this video. Very quickly, we'll outline it and then we'll just get straight into it. We're going to be going over a number of articles really demonstrating the growth that Cardano continues to get or continues to see. We're talking about the projects building on top of Cardano, how we've got nearly over 500 at the moment. We also see a record high number of Cardano addresses. So as a blockchain, we're growing. We're seeing that kind of network effect at 3.5 million ADA. So we're getting into those two articles. At the end of the video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the liquidity bootstrapping event that we've took part in thus far. I've taken part in it personally. I've also set up a dummy account to take part in. And we're really going to show you or just talk to you about what comes next. And essentially what comes next is you're going to be able to farm some insane APRs, I should say. Given the fact that you've took part in this event, you get this NFT here that you should all have because you should have already redeemed your PER tokens. Otherwise, they are useless, by the way. So you should have your liquidity tokens and your NFT, which we've spoken to you about. And essentially tomorrow, you're going to be able to start farming, staking those liquidity tokens and actually farming some pretty insane yields and returns off of them. So we'll talk to you guys about that through the end of the video. Going over this tweet from Charles talking about the hard fork that's coming in June and how you're actually seeing a lot of dApps wait to deploy until this hard fork has taken place so that they can kind of benefit from it. And he's talking about the fact that we've seen nothing yet for total value locked. I've stressed that time and time again. Yes, we're making progress, but what you guys have got to remember, the second that Cardano gets a stable coin, you're getting well into the billions. I think we'll get into the billions potentially without one, but you know, you're going to see huge appreciation from that. And we've really gone over the game-changing features, the game-changing factor that stable coins bring to the table. And we've looked at other ecosystems. If you look at your DEXs, if you look at, you know, the DeFi protocols, often they'll involve stable coins in a big way, which really bolsters that total value lock. So there's so much interesting things taking place for Cardano and things that other blockchains have already seen appreciation from. Cardano got to the third spot without even smart contracts. I think it was third before we even had the Alonso hard fork, which saw the implementation of smart contracts. So we're behind in one sense, but miles ahead in others, in the sense that we are a very adopted blockchain. We have an amazing community, and that's, you know, why I love making these videos. And one of the main reasons why I've stuck around with Cardano is because not only do I think they've done things the right way, but the community is just excellent. And it's something that these other cryptocurrencies, smart contract blockchains have tried to build and failed because you can't buy a community, essentially, or you can to a degree. So we're going to kick things off by looking at the overall market. We know what kind of a stage or where the cryptocurrency market is at. It's very tethered currently with global markets. And of course, it's being affected by geopolitical, macroeconomic, and monetary policy changes at the moment. And we know that that's just a story. You know, Bitcoin is really trapped in this range currently. And we've been in it for about a year and a quarter now, and we're kind of at the wrong side of it. But one thing that's important to remember is these markets right now are really just trader driven. For those of you that watch order books and actually trade, you'll notice that people shorting this market, the sellers are very, very comfortable in shorting. And what I mean by that is the trend. It's been a very easy short so far. This needs to change, and how this will typically start to change is when your traders get their toes burned, and then they'll become sort of forced bullish, if you will. So when it just doesn't make sense for them to short because they get it wrong so many times, they'll start longing and take the opposite. You know, they don't have really a dog in the bullish or bearish bias. Traders typically will trade whatever the market gives them, and certainly range trade at that. So Cardano, I want to go over some very interesting things straight off the bat before we get into some of these articles, talk about Minswap and probably talk about Charles's tweet before we get into Minswap and the total value locked. I want to point some things out in return to some of your indicators. Now, this is the RSI. And if you look at where we are today, This is the lowest point the RSI has ever been for Cardano, ladies and gentlemen. So since Cardano launched in 2017, it's never been at a lower point. And typically, whenever you've been at these regions, and we have spoke about this previously, it's signaled a move to the upside. You're the lowest today that you've ever been, which I think, you know, is just something to bear in mind and take it for what it is. Trying to time bottoms in these markets is neon impossible. Yes, we've called some accurately, like for example, the bottom before the hard fork. We called this pretty much to a T. Those of you that have been watching me for that long will remember. But certainly when you have a whirlwind of other factors affecting the cryptocurrency market and moving it, it can be quite hard to time a bottom. But, you know, this is just all interesting data that you should bear in mind. And you can see down here, you're at a similar point. So are we about to get a little bit of a rally, if nothing else, a relief rally? I would say it's likely, but remember, this is crypto and there's a lot going on right now. Same for your MACD at a kind of oversold, low, very low, record low level. So take that for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Given what we've got on the horizon for Cardano and how, and we've done plenty of videos explaining this, it's going to really, you know, drive the value of ADA. You know, I'm happy accumulating at these levels. That's not financial advice. Take that for what it is. But yeah. So let's get into some of the articles. Over 500 projects building on Cardano, claims IOHK director. I can verify this. You can verify it yourself by going onto things like Cardano Cube, having a look at a number of other metrics. You can see, certainly if we're watching smart contracts and you know, they're actually put through the chain, they're at record highs, guys. We're seeing continuous growth for the Cardano blockchain. And the price, again, just is not reflecting that. Very much like Amazon back in 1999, you know, when the dot-com boom or bust happened, the price tanked, but the kind of stock or the company that the stock was trying to represent, you know, was going from strength to strength. And eventually that value got realized. And I think crypto is in a very similar place. Yes, we've not had a kind of crash on that scale, but we've had a pullback. And I think the pullback is largely due to external factors, market conditions, than some of the individual cryptos that they're trying to represent. Not just Cardano, but crypto across the board is seeing record levels of adoption. It's the fastest adopted technology to date. And that's what I think this is, a technological revolution. Jerome Powell himself has called it that. We've looked at which is going to be a real turning point for crypto when the US actually properly regulate and give framework for crypto. We've looked at what was involved with that executive order, and they were really talking about the fact they need to sort of make sure the US is at the front of this technology and it being adopted in digital assets to stay, you know, in the kind of power position that they are. So it's going to be a very interesting year. On the back end of an indecisive year, which could have just seen Bitcoin calling up for something huge, but we spoke about that in an earlier video. Of course, here you've got the number of Cardano or wallet addresses reaches 3.5 million as ADA surges by 5%. Talking about the price surging by 5% then, but yeah, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing continuous adoption. We're seeing continued network effect, and it's all leading into something. And again, the price just isn't reflecting that whatsoever, in my opinion. You know, we've got way more wallets down here than we had up here, which is revealing and goes to, you know, markets are markets at the end of the day, and that's a huge highlighter of that. Let's talk about this tweet from Charles very quickly. We are flying through this, guys. There's just so much to cover. What most also don't understand is that many Cardano dApps are waiting for the Vasil hard fork in June to launch to benefit from pipelining. So it seems we ain't seen nothing yet for total value locked. Absolutely not, ladies and gents. Not only are your projects doing that, but really when you think about the, you know, we're getting to JED soon. This is going to be a huge driver for total value locked going through the roof. And if we see a similar kind of effect that we saw with stable coins coming into an ecosystem for the likes of Terra Luna, which their stable coin ecosystem absolutely kills it, by the way. I've been doing a lot of diving into it, and the UST has been a huge factor in Luna's success. Let's hope Cardano sees a similar, and typically a blockchain or a smart contract blockchain ecosystem will benefit massively from the implementation of a stablecoin. We saw that for Ethereum, we saw that for BNB, and we're now seeing it, you know, look, Binance USD, we're now seeing it for Terra. So we've got a lot coming, guys, and it's really, you know, you got to think Cardano, again, was the third highest market cap crypto without even smart contracts, we've got a lot of benefits to come in the future. And we've been criticized for taking a kind of tortoise approach, a kind of measure twice, cut once approach. But I think this will be, in hindsight, looking back, you know, the right kind of strategy to deploy, as we're seeing a lot of other blockchains out there really come into awful lot of problems. I mean, Polygon was down just the other day. Still think these blockchains are great, but of course, you know, they're kind of learning as they're going along, whereas Cardano is trying to kind of put what they've learned in before they have to embark on everything. So let's dive into Minswap. Now, you should have already redeemed your PER tokens. We showed you how to do this. We did a video on it. If you haven't, those PER tokens are worthless. I mean, literally. You can't redeem. That's you kind of at the game. But if you have, which we did tell you to do on a number of occasions, and you did have a time period to do it from the 5th to the 14th, you should now have your liquidity tokens, and you should also have your Minswap bootstrapping event NFT, which is going to provide you extra yields on, I think it's the first week, potentially. The first week is going to be insane. I'm expecting 300 to 400% APRs on my initial investment. So it's going to be absolutely madness. It's going to be a great way to earn MIM. We know that the Minswap essentially we've got here, we will first open all farm depositing on Tuesday the 15th this year at around about 3 a.m. EST or 7 a.m. UTC. Yield farming rewards accrual will be enabled 24 hours later on Wednesday the 16th. So you've got to get ready. Tomorrow you'll be able to actually deposit and stake your yield farming tokens. And then essentially the day after you'll be able to start accruing rewards or watching your rewards accrue. So it's going to be super interesting, guys. Get ready for this. Just a quick heads up about this. We have shown you how to do everything today. You should already have those tokens. It's going to be a simple case of connecting like we have with this dummy wallet to Minswap. I still need to get a tutorial up on how to use Minswap properly. That will be coming, just extremely busy at the moment. And then essentially you'll be able to stake and start yield farming at some insane APR. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. That is really all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take your eyes off what's being built. I know that the market action is depressing somewhat, but ultimately, you know, we're very early in a long journey of adoption, and Cardano could be a huge beneficiary of that if we're talking about crypto in general. And also Cardano as a blockchain is very early in comparison with where it's potentially going. That is all I have for you in the video, guys. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. Remember, we do have the ALLIN crypto stake pool. We minted another block today, which I'm over the moon about. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. Enjoy the rest of your Mondays, ladies and gents.